Our guest today is a master of his craft, starting his journey at a young age and dedicating himself to perfecting his skills. With a lot of passion and hard work, he's built an impressive career as a DJ. He has worked with stars like Montel Jordan and big brands like Ted Baker London, Amazon, Target, McManaman's, The Boys and Girl Clubs, and the Black Angus Steakhouse. His ability to connect with any crowd makes him the go-to DJ for any event. And guess who is in the house today? So guys, help me in welcoming the one and only DJ iSizzle. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much, man. You have like, I don't know, like that's the best intro I've ever heard in my life. So thank you so much. And I imagine your listeners and watchers are just like, wow, that was a great intro as well. So thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Whoop.
welcome. I'm really excited, and I'm always trying to impress my guests by giving them the best intro that I can, ever give. So yeah, so the first question, of course, I know this is a question that a lot of people have asked you. It's like, why did you become a DJ?
Sure. That's actually a great question of why I became a DJ. It comes down to like, I guess the way I was raised, like my parents always taught me like, just be kind to people and, be friends to people, So with being a DJ, I can bring people together through music and dance. So, and being able to do that is just, I don't know, I guess it just makes me happy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and how long have you been doing this?
Oh gosh. I originally started when I was in middle school, and then I kind of gave it a break for a few years, and then I started almost post-pandemic. I just got lucky. I just started studying how to DJ again, and post-pandemic, everybody started getting married. So it just kind of like took off. I didn't really have to do too much work, which I guess they say like the best like businesses are the ones that just kind of fall into place. So you don't have to like make this huge business plan. I just kind of just started DJing and people started contacting me and saying, "Hey, we need a DJ for our wedding or we need a DJ for our dance and are you available?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure. I'll come. I'd love to." Like that. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah.
So other than that, like, can you tell us about the early days of you being a DJ? Like, how did you
Mm.
start, maybe creating videos or you just posting your tracks on social media? Like, what did you do to get started?
Um, I mean, really, it was just kind of like as simple as just talking to people, telling them that there's going to be a dance. I mean, I was in like middle school, almost high school, and I was just putting on dances, just charging people a couple bucks to get in the door, and we just party. So it was kind of just a basic like word of mouth, and people just tell their friends, and they bring their friends, and that was about it. So I wish it was more like, like yeah, I made all these posts on social media, they blew up, and I put like music up there, and everybody just started feeling it, but it just kind of just happened word of mouth. So,
And when did you realize that it can actually be a career? Because I know there was this friend that I was talking to, and he just told me, he bought the I don't know what you call it, but like the keyboard and all everything, right? And
oh, right.
started doing that like as a hobby, like just like something that he
Hmm.
loves doing. But for you, like how did you realize actually you can make a career out of doing this? It's not just a hobby.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff with music. I think a lot of people kind of look at it as a hobby. For me, I got into the wedding side, which weddings pay really well. It's a lot of work though to set up like wedding playlists and to actually be a wedding DJ and MC. And it also takes a lot of courage because you got to get up in front of 150 to 200 people. And that can be from a baby all the way up to a 100-year-old. So you have to learn how to be really like smooth with your words and very like, grateful to be here and very welcoming, I think, as well. So, I guess if I was to just play like clubs and stuff, or just make my own music and try to get people to come to my shows, I might be more of a hobbyist. But since there's always a wedding going on for the most part, it keeps me employed and it keeps me into business. So, yeah.
Hmm. So how do you stay authentic, while balancing what your listeners or your clients or the crowd want to hear from you?
Um, it really just depends on the event. When it comes to like being authentic, as far as Um, like this last weekend, we did a middle school like glow light dance, and you pretty much just have to pick songs that are fun and good for like younger ages, I guess. So don't play anything that's a little too edgy or some stuff that, the PTA might get a little upset with. But when it comes to weddings and stuff, it's all custom playlists. So it's whatever the bride wants in her playlist is what I play. I guess that keeps me authentic. I mean, wanting to play what they want to, hear for their love story. So.
Oh yeah. So I believe, to make it as a career, you have to kind of pick a niche, right? Like for you it's weddings,
Mhm.
but you also work with brands that I mentioned in your introduction, like, big
Yeah.
brands, right? So from there, like, okay, so when you figure out, when you just invited your friends over and, play music for them and dance together. So how did that then let you down, to getting clients like, corporate clients and all that,
Mhm.
organizations? How did it happen?
Really it's just continually posting on social medias. Like all my social medias, like I'm posting like once or twice, sometimes 3 times a day. I post a lot of the clips from previous shows, and then I'm always positive. Like, because I ask myself, like really, what is a DJ and what do people know about a DJ? So for me, I just want to be somebody who is positive and uplifting, and somebody that brings everybody together. So as far as the brand, like Amazon contacted me, they emailed me and they asked me if I was available, and I said sure. And then a couple days later, like, hey, can you do a second show? And I said, yeah, I'd love to do a second show. And then Target, they contacted me, and it was just for a store opening, like a soft store opening and everything. But it was still cool. They had the mayor there, and it was like red tape carpet, whatever they call that, cutting and stuff. So they're really fun events. But I think sometimes you just get lucky, I think, with corporate events and then just having the availability and then them actually contacting you. Yeah, I think it's just kind of a luck thing.
Well, I don't think anyone can say that, they just wake up to an emails from Amazon and Target and asking them
No.
to perform at their event. So yeah, it takes hard work and determination, like positivity, right? And so it's not like trying too hard. Have you ever like sending cold emails to brands and asking them if they need you,
I
outreach?
asked, yeah, that's a great question. Like the whole outreach thing and everything. Like I'll ask for reviews from previous clients. Like if they'll do like Google reviews for me, because that like helps like people discover me as well, and it also builds like brand reputation. If you see good ratings and good reviews, like I've had some clients that have hired me for 3 to 4 years now for their events, and they're just like, hey, we'll see you next year. We love having you here and everything. So I'm sorry, I got a little lost in that. What was your question again? I'm sorry. I
Did
lost
you like do
myself in
any
that.
outreach, send out emails?
Oh yeah, the outreach. So yeah, then I'll definitely ask for referrals. And then
Right.
a lot of times, like when it comes to weddings, a lot of brides will recommend me to their friend, or like a mom of a bride will be like, "Hey, do you know a DJ?" Because I guess like a lot of people too, they're like, "We don't even know where to find a DJ." I'm like, I mean, maybe I guess online you would find one, but so for me, it's like, and that's why I love doing this interview with you, is because it's discoverability, and it kind of like helps people like understand your personality, as well, like what kind of person you are, that
Yeah.
whole thing. So yeah.
So, right, how do you stand out? I'm sure, you are not the only DJ in your area or in your industry,
Mhm.
wedding niche. So what do you believe that is you are like what makes you different? Why do you think they pick you over any other DJs out there?
So I think a lot of it comes down to just customer service and like being able to answer questions like right away. Like for me, it's like I'm on the clock 24/7. So if I ever get an email from a bride or anything like that with a question, it's like 2 minutes and I'm back like to respond to your question and everything. So I think customer service, and then we kind of mentioned about like making it customizable, because I know like a lot of DJs, they won't play line dances or they won't play certain songs because they have a problem with them. For me, it's like, hey, this is your love story. We're here to party. This is your crowd. You probably know them a little better than I do, because you guys have grown up together. You guys have been friends for a long time. So, I'm just here to enhance the experience for you guys. So hopefully that helps me stand out. I hope
Yeah.
so.
I'm sure, right? Adaptable and being able to customize, and just work with the clients and give them what they want.
Of course, yeah. It's not about me. I mean, this is your special day. So
I think
yeah.
you're right. I think you're so right when you say that it's not about me because I think I could be wrong, but when I look at all the DJs out there, like big names, right? And it's all
Mhm.
about that, right? When you look at the profiles, it's all about
Oh,
them.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
of
all about
course.
yeah, and but there's nothing wrong with that, right? And that's how
Oh
they
no, not at all. Yeah, it's your brand and stuff. I get that. Yeah, of
yeah. But I
course.
think for you, from what so far, we have been talking for 10 minutes only, but I feel like you're really passionate about like this is your craft, right? It's not about you, but it's about them.
Oh, it really is about customer service. I mean, and I think that maybe be a misconception with a lot of people, because they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna play all my music, and everybody's gonna be partying and dancing." And it's like, well, wait a minute, they don't like that song. That's on their do not playlist. So why are
Mhm.
you playing that? That kind of stuff. So I always make sure that I have like a nice outline for them that has a whole bunch of questions. Everything from like, how would you like me to dress? I mean, like, is this a
Wow.
Hawaiian wedding? Is this a Like, what kind of theme wedding is this? You want me to dress in a tux? I mean, what's the level of, how you want me to look and everything, as well as like all the music playlists, like do not plays, must plays, our guest requests, okay? Because sometimes guests, they might have a few drinks and they might think a certain song is cool and it's not cool. So you always have to have like the, hey, don't play these songs or please play these songs or yeah, our guests, we love when they request songs. So it really is making sure that they're, 110% happy,
Huh.
with what you're going to do for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And the other question that I have for you is how do you read? Because it's about reading the energy in the room,
Oh, of
right?
course.
And so
Yeah.
do you have any specific techniques do you like use to read the crowd and just make sure that energy is high in the room?
Sure. So what I'll do is a lot of times the bride and groom, they'll give me a playlist, like a Spotify playlist or a YouTube playlist before the actual wedding. So what I'll do is I'll go in there and I'll create playlists for myself in my DJ program. And then so I don't use headphones. I know I'm using headphones right now for this interview, but I'm able to like look at waveforms and just mix them. So I don't actually like DJs mostly like have headphones on. They have to like listen to waveforms and stuff. So I don't do that. So what I do is I organize my playlists where I have like high tempo songs and I have mid tempo songs and then I'll have slow songs. And then I'll just take and I'll say, okay, based on experience, based on play count, this song usually goes really well with this kind of crowd. So like if it's a country crowd, there's certain songs I probably won't play because maybe in the beginning I played them and I thought they were going to be good, but you just kind of mix them out. But once you know those like certain songs that really get people, and then I use a lot of like intros on certain songs to kind of like hype a song before I play it. Because sometimes you could just put a song in and everybody's like, what is this? So you kind of have to intro songs and you have to get people excited about a song, as well as like I'll put in special edits where I'll be like, oh man, this song was made in like the 80s. It was cool, but there was no hook. So no one knows what the song is. They barely know the first verse. So you just start with the hook, you edit the hook first, and then you let it play into the first verse, and then you get into the next hook. Versus first verse, no one knows for a minute, and then you go to the hook, everybody knows. You see how that kind of works? So it's kind of like you want to kind of like customize the song to where people know like the good parts of the song. So
Build out the anticipation, right? I don't know.
yeah, of course. Like a song like Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Yeah.
It's a great song. It's like 5 minutes long and it's cool to listen to like at the house and stuff. But if it's a hot dance floor, like maybe a minute and a half and then get out, depending upon your crowd. Like you just got to be careful with certain songs and always open with the hook first on that one because people don't really know the first verse. So,
Yeah, I think it applies to everything, right? It's the hook, right? It's also a marketing term,
hmm,
right, that we use. And even for podcasts, I would say you have to really open the show with a hook, right? With a strong hook. Otherwise your listeners
yeah,
don't want to listen at all. So
I
yeah.
agree completely. Even more now, so like with TikTok and everything,
Yeah.
because I find with like younger crowds, like they'll know songs from like the 90s, like a Spice Girl song, but they'll
Mm,
only really know the hook. And then
mm.
once it gets into the verse, they're kind of like, waiting for the hook to get back, waiting for the hook. And then,
Yeah.
they'll come back. So they're like jumping up and down again. So, um, it's one of those things where you just have to get out there. I mean, I played a couple hundred shows in the last, yeah, say like 3, 4 years. So you kind of each show you kind of know, and then you kind of know by like how young they are versus how older they are. And then there's things called like cross-generational songs,
Mm-hmm.
where if you're 7 years old or if you're 90 years old, you would know the song and love it.
Right.
So those are songs like I kind of study and I'll put in like a folder, like in a
Wow.
playlist that says like cross-generational songs. So you can kind of throw those songs in the mix if you have like a multi-generational dance floor going on and you want to keep everybody on there. So yeah,
I think that's really so what would you say that is like the most challenging part of being a DJ is, you know,
organizing. Being
organize.
organized. Yeah, because you're going to have about 1 million files on your laptop and you got to figure out how to organize them, name them. I'll go in and I'll make sure if they don't have the year on there, I'll put the year. I'll also put like little marks on there to say like this one hits.
Mm,
And then other ones where I'll just be like, yeah, it's cool. And like somebody will request it and I'll be like, yeah, maybe. We'll see. Like it doesn't really, I played it like 4 times at different events and it's never really hit right. So and a lot of times I'll kind of study that too. I'll be like, why wasn't it hitting? Like, is it my timing? Is it just not a song that people know?
Mm.
Like maybe it's a song that was popular for like 3 months and this crowd knows, but then if you try to get it to a general audience, they're like, I have no idea what this song is. Like, it's okay, I guess. I don't know. So like I'll watch a lot of like react videos where people will be reacting all different generations. And then I'll just kind of take notes on that. And I'll say like, oh, okay, so Gen Z like this song, millennials like this song, or the older folks, they like this song as well. So that's where you just kind of say, okay, well, but this is all, it's kind of generalization because you
Yeah.
don't really know. Like everything is just kind of a trial and error thing. So you never really know.
It's just like you really put in a lot of work and effort and time in studying your craft, and and that just shows your passion and everything, that you are really serious about the work that you are doing. So what was okay, so we talk about the challenge, and what was the most exciting experience, or what are the most like memorable moments? Maybe it's at the wedding, everyone cried when you play a song, something like that, like that you can never forget.
Yeah. I had one recently where um the bride, she asked me last minute, like a couple nights before the wedding, she said, hey, my mom and I are really close, and I know we're doing the other dances, but would it be cool if you did like a surprise, like after all the dances are done, just kind of come up there, make an announcement and say, hey, we still have one more dance. And the bride wanted to dedicate this to her mom because she just wants to say thank you for raising me a certain way. And put that song on, man. It's just yeah, some of those like moments like that will get you. Like you've been to so many events and stuff, but they still get me. Where you'll just kind of be like, "Whew, yeah, this is a good emotional moment here." So like thank you so much. I love emotions, so this is great. So and that's another reason I love weddings too, is because the emotions are
Mm,
top tier emotions. They're good emotions. They're not like a negative emotion or anything. Because I know like if you work in different jobs, you have to deal with like a lot of like sadness or negativity. And the nice thing about the wedding DJ is a lot of positivity within a wedding. So get to celebrate love. Yeah, it's fun.
yeah. Yeah, it's a celebration. So I know you are also an MC, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
You MC and also being a DJ, like you're like, the whole package when they hire you.
Hmm. Of course, of course.
Wow.
Now, I'm not a DJ that comes up there and tells like cheesy jokes or like pun humor. Like I don't do that kind of stuff. Everybody's kind of like, So
Okay.
I'm just more of an introduction guy. Like I'm a good transitional guy, like welcome, welcome, welcome to the wedding, welcome to bride and groom's special day celebration. We're going to start with the toast and, we'll go ahead and bring on the bridesmaid. If we give her a round of applause, while she comes up and everything. So I sound better on a microphone in front of hundreds of people, believe me. I'm just giving you like the little preview sample right now. So, and then I'll always, after the toast and everything, I'll always say, let's give a really big round of applause for all those speeches and toasts. I think those are really special, and the whole room will always erupt like it was the loudest you've ever heard. I think the best feeling too as a human is to get an applause for something like a speech or a toast because it's nerve-wracking. Like if you've never been up there before,
Yeah.
you're getting up in front of 150 people sharing your emotions. Like, like, come on. I mean, like, who wants to do that? No one wants to get up and share their emotions in front of a bunch of people. So I always encourage people. So,
So maybe if you could bring us back to your very first, I don't want to call that like performance or DJ, at an event. Like,
mm.
were you nervous? Because was your very first time being in front of a crowd, like people, like strangers, and you're trying to, make them happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first one we did was right after the pandemic, and I had prepared for months upon months for like getting all the equipment together, getting microphones, getting all the music, the laptop loaded with all the software, mixing, knowing what I was going to say in between everything. And the first show, I was definitely nervous. But luckily, like the bride and groom, they were super nice. Like they
Mm,
didn't really care. Like they had bought out the bar, so they were just wanted to have a few drinks and listen to good music. So just kind of party. So I just played the playlist. They said I did awesome. And then after that, I looked at my assistant. And I was like, well, I guess if this one went well, maybe the next one will go well. And then flash forward, we're still doing it. And I think we're going stronger now. Like we just have more reputation now, which is really nice, to be able to build reputation. Because, when you start, you're just like, well, I hope somebody hears about me. I hope we get references. What do I have to do to get jobs, that whole thing. So,
mm,
um, but I do all the bookings myself as well. So it's fun. I don't know. I enjoy all the aspects of it. So I know like most people see a DJ and they're like, oh, he's just getting up there rocking the crowd and that's all he does. But there's a lot more to it. I mean, there's travel, there's booking, there's yeah, customer service. We talked about a little bit about
like
that, but
maintenance and all that. Yeah.
yeah.
So if you could go back and to your very first episode or performance, like what advice would you give yourself? What would you do differently?
Um, Not go overboard. Like just kind of keep it simple. Because
Mm.
like the first time I set up, it took me like an hour and a half, like with my assistant to set everything up. I was taping down all the chords. I was like, just everything, this and that. And I'm like, you can just hide your chords. You don't have to tape them down. You know, you can like do little things. And like I spent way too much time like setting up the equipment. And then once, but maybe that's the first time, you know, like first time it always takes longer, right? And then you do it more and more, and then it becomes easier. And you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I can cut that out. I don't need to be doing that. That's way too much work. So let's just keep it simple. So yeah, and I don't think I had a cart, so I brought everything in by hand. I brought all the speakers in by hand.
What?
So it was pretty, yeah, we pulled the car up and we pulled the truck up and we're like pulling it all out and we're like walking it in by hand. And like I was like, you know what, maybe we should get a cart. And they're like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. That would probably help a lot. Get us in and out. So
So what advice would you give to aspiring DJs? Maybe some of my listeners, they are listening to this and they actually love
mhm.
being a DJ and
Yeah.
and what advice would you give to them and who want to make a name and make a career? It's not just a hobby, right? And also eventually, land clients like yours, like you have.
I would say that I would say definitely write down, yeah, write down where you want to be in 5 years. Write down
Mm.
where you want to be in 5 years. Get around some really good, positive people as well. Because when you have your down days, you're gonna need people to like encourage you to keep going. Also, don't get down by like the little things. Like if you don't get a gig or if you don't get a job, it just means you weren't the right fit, you know, for that night or that client. So I remember the first time I was booking jobs and I got turned down by a couple of jobs, and I was just like, "Grr," I was so upset. But I just said, and then I realized like, oh, it's part of sales. Like people are going to tell you no, they're going to turn you down. Like, but then I realized there's like a million reasons of why people turn you down, you know, or maybe it's because it's just not the right fit. So yeah, I guess to simplify what I just said is just um, write down your goals, get around positive people, and then don't take rejection for anything. Just take it as a learning experience, and you know you'll keep going and you'll keep succeeding if you really want to. So
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned about goals because I know you have a goal of reaching 200 weddings and events in a year.
yeah, yeah, it's for next year. We've started booking already. We got a little ways to go, but I'm starting to see a lot of people inquiring and continually inquire about next year's weddings as well as parties. So I'm very optimistic. I mean, the most we ever did one year was 75. So
Wow.
we're kind of doubling that. I don't want to overreach because I don't want to burn myself out. Like I don't be like, oh, let's do 365, and it's like, it's kind of a lot. Like, that's a lot of every day you're going to be playing. It's like, no, you need a little break. So you need a little time to yeah, reset yourself.
So what do you do if you're not DJing?
Oh, so I do a couple different things, and I've been really excited about this. This last month, I realized like my shows were good, but what I was missing is a dance element. Like I was kind of noticing, like I put on a song and be like, okay, well, I guess it's time to do the Macarena, or it's time to do the Cha-Cha Slide, and I'd be like, okay, let me do it with you guys. So then I realized I was like, well, I wonder if there's like any dance schools like around the area, you know? So I found a couple dance schools down here, and I decided on one. So I joined a Zumba class,
Wow.
which was crazy fast, and I had no idea how slow I was on my feet until I got into that first class. I was like 10 minutes in, I'm like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm like, I'm good. And then I stuck with it, and like I think we're in like third or fourth week, and it's gotten easier every time. And I've gotten to know the teacher a little bit more, and she's like super cool, super nice. But yeah, she's super fast too. But they do a lot of like line dancing in there, but like a Zumba speed, so it's like super fast. As well as I took up some yoga on Sunday mornings, so that's really nice as far as like getting you more like balanced and more grateful about everything. And then the last one I took was Intro to Hip Hop. So if you want to see somebody stumble around and try to dance move, I'm your guy for the first couple. So, but it's been really fun. And then also I joined a gym, just to get my energy levels more where they need to be. Because like when you're doing like elementary school dances, you have to have more energy. You can't just put on a song and walk away. Like the kids, they want to jump up and down. They want to they want to party with you. So if you're kind of just back there playing a song, you're just like head down,
Yeah.
like no one,
No, I know
you
some
know.
DJs do that. They're just trying to play cool.
Yeah, well, they're probably a little shy or, they're just really into their mixing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean, I put mixing as a priority, but I I probably put crowd interaction
Mm,
and like getting everybody to like party together is like more of a main goal.
yep.
So if I see that maybe a song's not going as well as I thought it would, I'll be like, oh, well, I know this one goes. Let me just kind of switch it over, get on the mic, talk to them a little bit, and then see if we can get them to jump up and down, see if we can get them to kind of sing the lyrics to this song. So yeah, there's like tactics you have to take.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going off like way over here again. I'm sorry. Please focus us
Okay.
back into where the
No, no, it's
conversation was
okay. It's
going.
all good. It's all good. So yeah, like you said, I believe in order to keep the everyone high and in a good mood, you yourself have to be in a good mood and have
Oh, definitely.
like at your peak energy at all times, right? So how do you prep yourself? Like how do you prep yourself before a gig or before going on the stage? Like what do you do with yourself? Like do you dance around?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first I kind of get in a mental state. So what I'll do is I'll say like a prayer or something before and being like, help me guide my hands
Oh,
to the right songs, help me like read the audience, put the audience in a good place, make sure everybody that's supposed to be here tonight is here and they're ready to party. That'll be the first thing. And then yeah, I guess some stretching. I guess I do a little stretching before I get out there. I mean, that's the best I can say. Get those playlists prepared. Like I'll prepare each event is a different playlist. Like I'll never use the same playlist because I feel like that's kind of like lazy and I
mm,
don't know, it's kind of boring, like why no crowd is going to be the same crowd on the same night. So why use the same playlist?
yeah, that's true, right? So I believe it will be my last question. I know I asked a lot of questions and thanks for being so
No, I
your
love
time
it.
with
I
me.
love it.
So the last question that I have is like, how do you push yourself, like keep pushing yourself and to improve and innovate in such competitive industry? I know, like, do you follow trends? Like, do you listen to the latest music and things like that to keep yourself updated?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. I definitely keep up. I'd say every couple of days, like, or even I'll Shazam, like if I'm in a grocery store, if I'm in the gym, if I'm anywhere, if I hear a song, I'll just Shazam it, put it on there, try that out. Requests are really good. Like I like doing the younger dances because they'll know the newest, hottest
Mm,
artists and songs that are coming up. Um, and then those will kind of transform into the older crowds as well. But it usually takes them a little bit. But I would also say just trying to reinvent yourself and then always just trying to push better than the last performance and whatever that takes, because you can get stale, you can get lazy really easily, like in any industry. So you always have to keep studying every day, be willing to want to learn. Yeah,
yeah,
keep improving.
it's awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing so generously with me and my listeners today. Is there anything you want to talk about? Perhaps I didn't ask you, I didn't let you.
No, I think I'm pretty good. I was just gonna say to the listeners, like I like to listen to your podcast on the treadmill. Like when I'm doing my like exercising and stuff, I'll just like put it on the treadmill and watch your podcasts and stuff. So it's inspirational. Like I'd recommend it for your listeners as well.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but this is not the end because if you listen to my podcast, you will know that we always end with our final five rapid fire questions. So, uh,
Okay.
yep, I changed one question because just for you, and but the rest, is a question that I ask all my guests at the end of the show. So, are you ready? Rapid fire.
Let me get some water here. Hang on a second.
It's okay. It's just a game. It's just for fun. But
Okay.
every question has to be answered in either one word or one sentence maximum.
Okay. One word, one sentence.
Yep.
No
First question
preparing here.
is, what is one thing you wish you knew earlier?
One thing I wish I knew earlier. Boy, that's a great question. Um, I would say try to figure out who your true self is before you go out there and try to perform for people.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to tell you these questions, they are deep.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Thank you.
So yeah, the next question is even deeper. If you could relive one day of your life, which day would it be?
Maybe live one day of my life. Boy, these are deep questions. That's a very thoughtful question. Um, I would say Well, let's just do the career thing. That'll be a simplified answer. I would say the first time I performed to just say stick with it, even if it got rough. Like the first day I performed, I would say that would be a day I would relive and just be like, hey, just
Yeah,
stick with it, you know,
I
stick
love
with
that.
it.
No, I mean, thanks for, like really trying to think of the answer because it reminds me of my first episode, for example, right? The first time I
Mhm.
actually set up my microphone and actually speak and record an episode for my listeners. So like you can never have your first ever again, right? So
Right.
that's beautiful. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I thought these were going to be simple, like hello questions and how are you doing today? So I appreciate you getting
No.
deep.
Yeah. So the next question, we are halfway there. So if you could
Okay.
master one skill you don't currently have, what would it be?
I guess expand the business into a larger brand. I'm working on getting those skills, but crowds of 100, 150, 200 is basically what I play to. So if I could expand it into like a 10,000 or 20,000 events, I think that would be one skill that I'd like to get into.
Yeah, love that. And that leads me to the next question. So, if you could
Okay.
DJ for any event or company or artist in the world, past or present, who would it be?
I know the answer to this question. I know the answer to this question. Um, it would be it would be for a pop star,
Mm-hmm.
but I would have to think about the pop star. But I've
Oh,
thought about this many times. I would love to DJ for like an A-list, like somebody that's really popular, like A-list right now,
mm,
that they get married, like
wow.
like an Ariana Grande or like a
Yeah,
Selena Gomez or something, like a really large, billion-dollar celebrity. I think that would be really fun.
that would be really fun and awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. The last question is, what brings you the greatest joy?
Seeing all the different generations dancing, and when I see everybody dancing on the floor, and you find those songs that everybody dances to, it's like watching it in slow motion. Like you're watching a movie and everything slows down, and it's
Yeah,
just like it's a feeling of like, yeah, this is why I do this. Everybody's happy right now. They've forgotten about anything in this world but just this moment.
so
And I
true.
think that's like one of the best things that there is about this job is to be able to have people escape and not think about anything other than just that moment, whatever age it is.
Yeah, so true. Being in the present moment, just in the moment, right? With
Hmm.
partner, your friends and family, and like without using you don't even need your phone, right? You don't have to check out the social,
Right.
just really there and be in the moment. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much. And you did it. We are done with the rapid fire.
Awesome.
You survived.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now tell my people where they can find you, where do you want them to follow you? If they have any question, where should they go?
Sure. You can go to my website, djissizzle.com. That has all my social medias on there. All my social media is everything from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. It's DJ iSizzle. All the people that follow me are really positive people. So we always try to build each other up and tell each other like thank you for the kindness and thank you for the positivity. Appreciate you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that would be one reason to follow if you wanted to.
And I appreciate you. And again, thank you so much for coming. Now, guys, I will put all his links in the show note below. So make sure you check out the show note and give him a follow. And thank him for coming to our show today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his channel and also to this podcast because then you will never miss another episode coming to you every Wednesday. And I will always leave you the same way as I leave with every other episode. Show up, the world needs you, and you need you. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all a joyful and amazing day ahead. Bye.